Welcome everyone to a nice chess video. In this video, I'm going to teach you the Giuoco Piano, which goes like this. e4, e5, knight to f3, attacking e5, and knight to c6, defending the pawn, and then bishop c4 and bishop c5. So not attacking anything too much, except for the e5 pawn, which is nicely defended. So it is a quiet game until we reach the middle and end games. So for white, let's look at white's options, then black's options, then we can be done. For white we have c3. For white we have c3, we have d3, or we have castles. Let's look at each one of those. First, c3. What does c3 do? Well, it lightens the pressure on d4 because we have a bishop attack, a knight attack, and a pawn attack on that place. So that's what c3 does. That's called the main line. And then what black likes to do after c3 is usually develop the knight and then castle. So there is c3, but there's also d4. What does d4 do? No, d3. d3 is a move that unlocks that dark squared bishop, which sometimes likes to go to g5 because it attacks the queen. Okay, and if you're thinking that's a free bishop, don't think that there's a knight there. Anyways, that's the point of d3. That is called the pianissimo variation if you play d3 after black plays bishop c5. So, but white doesn't have to do that. White can castle. Say white castles. Black will probably try to castle as well, play knight f3 and then castle themselves. But you have to be careful here for white because this pawn is under attack after you play knight f3, knight f6 because it's not defended. So definitely you should play something like d3 to nicely defend it and get a 3-pawn chain right here. Now let's look at black's options. Black's options after each one. Black's option is after c3, as I mentioned. Not castling. Black's options after c3 are playing knight f6 to then castle. But they don't have to play knight f6, for example. They could play moves like d6. D6 to, as the arrow shows there, attack and pin the knight. The knight will be pinned to the queen because the knight cannot move, because if the knight were to move, then we would pick up the queen with a bishop. Pretty nice stuff if you can play d6 and then put your bishop on g4. So there's obviously lots of defending it. For example, bishop to e2 defends it, and then if they take, you'll just take. But such as chess, pins, forks, skewers, openings, endgames, middle games, lots of stuff to teach. Anyways, after c3, you can play d6, you can play knight f3. All of these are pretty fine moves to then castle. And if you play knight f3, you definitely want to make sure to play d3 as white so that you can defend the e4 pawn. What if white plays a move like d3? If white plays a move like d3, as I said, a lot of the options are the same for black, because there's nothing much you need to do. There's not much pressure until you get further and further into the game. So you can as well play knight to f6, still going for castling in the next move. You can play knight to e7, which you don't really want to do. I don't really recommend it because when knights defend each other, they're not going to move for a while as they need to defend each other. But in the opening, it's not that bad. Just don't have your knights defending each other all the time. So knight f6 I lean more towards because then you can castle and it's more active here on f6 than it would be on e7, okay? What if we don't play d3? What if we castle? If we castle, we can still play knight f6. Knight f6 is still a perfect move for all the options for white. It attacks the pawn and white needs to defend it. What if white were not to defend it? What if white were to play something silly? What if white were to play knight a3? Knights on the rim are dim. Knight takes e4. And then black is just winning because black has more pieces in the center. We develop our knight here to a poor position. If black were to take, we double white's pawns. And black with good chances is going to win this game. So as white, you definitely want to defend the e4 pawn. So that's all I have to say pretty much. After playing bishop c5, white, I explained your options, and black, you want to play usually knight to f6 after most things that white plays. So say white plays a different move. Say white plays knight to c3. Then what do we do? there's nothing much different to be done, except if you play knight f3, it no longer attacks because it's defended. But still, knight f3 is a perfectly fine move. Sorry, that's just a little note I wanted to add about playing knight c3. It automatically defends the pawn, and you don't have to worry about knight f3 attacking the pawn later on. And then they can both sides can castle, for example, castles, and then we're fine until we get to the middle game, and then the strategy starts to build up. You have to start thinking better, but I'm here to teach you guys some openings in this video, and that's what I taught you, the Giuoco Piano. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you play the Giuoco Piano, there won't be too much confrontation until we reach further stages of the game. Confrontation, sorry, I was forgetting that word for a while. You won't get too much confrontation until you reach further and further into the game, because then all your pieces will be active and you'll want to start looking for things to do and to beat your opponent. To defeat this king or defeat this king. That's the point of chess. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one, in which I'll discuss a different opening. Or I might do an openings, or, I might do a middle games video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Bye.